and welcome to Tualatin Talks. My name is Claire Koo, and I, alongside Erin Lakeman, will be your co-host for this episode. Today, we have Vivian Foe and Janella Buchanan Almeida with us. Vivian and Janella are the president and vice president of the Student Health Action Council, also known as the SHAC, which works to promote the school-based health center at Tualatin High School, as well as advocate for student health. So welcome, and thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. First question. So I know I gave our listeners just a really brief introduction, but if you don't mind, if you could please describe more specifically what SHAC is, and tell us about some of the amazing projects you guys have taken up this year.
Right. So, hi guys. So what SHAC stands for is Student Health Action Council. So the name used to be the Student Health Advisory Council, but we wanted to change that a little bit this year so that it would match a little bit more of what we want to do for the club. And so what we do is we sort of identify current health issues and we discuss those and we try to implement solutions to those. Just specifically in our Tualatin High School area. And we work with the student-based health center at Tualatin High School to help them be more accessible to students and to keep the student body updated with their current events. And so a lot of students at our school don't know a ton about the SBHC, so we help spread that info and promote and support them. And just some of the projects that we've done last year was our first year as the Tualatin SHAC. And so our biggest projects were probably the mental health table, for one. That was a table in the lunchroom that we had information about different stress relief management tips and tricks, like sleep hygiene and how to calm yourself down, because that was our students' finals week. And so we wanted to help people out a little bit and sort of help them calm down a little bit. And we also handed out stress balls and different, we helped them to just relax before their testing. And a couple of other things we did just right around the beginning of the pandemic was we were planning with Tualatin Stand Up what was called a wellness week, which may be possible in the future again. And we were also doing comic strips to help promote the SBHC and what its services are. And so this year, we worked on a project that we wrapped up recently, which was more stress relief tips and tricks. That was through our Instagram. And we sort of just had different infographics that just outline some of the different ways people can just manage their stress, mostly related to online school, because that's a really big problem right now. People are feeling just more discouraged than other years. And right now, we are working on a project with the other SHACs and youth action councils around Oregon, and that is to improve accessibility to our SBHCs, and we're working to improve communication of our information right now. And we just want to put out information we have on the SBHC events on our Instagram and things like that.
That's amazing. Just a note for our listeners, you guys can catch SHAC at tuhs.shac. Is that right? Yep, on Instagram. So that's really awesome. Thank you, Vivian. And I will hand it off to Erin for our next question.
Yeah, well, that's awesome what you guys are doing. I definitely remember seeing mental health tables last year. I know I was just a freshman, but we had those little kind of finals things, and I really enjoyed it. And I think a lot of my friends really liked and used the tips and tricks as what they told me. So that's an awesome thing what you guys are doing. What inspired you to join SHAC? Was it someone asking you, inspiring you, or give us some?
So I joined SHAC because I wanted to get more involved in the school, but still doing something related to healthcare. And I remember our advisor last year came into one of my classes and she kind of talked about it. And it was my human body systems class, which is taught by my HOSA advisor. And she just kind of mentioned how it would be the perfect club to pair with HOSA. And I was like, well, might as well do it. And so I joined just to see what it was like. And then I ended up really liking it.
I'm also in a similar position. I just wanted to gain some more advocacy experience rather than volunteering, which is also like an aspect of SHAC. And I just had an interest in healthcare and the interactions between different people. Like other health clubs are a little bit more career oriented, and I thought SHAC would be a little bit more involved with individuals and the people.
That's lovely. So going off that kind of train of thought, I know to both of you, Vivian and Daniela, you guys are really interested in pursuing a healthcare related career. So I was wondering, like, what are some lessons that you've learned during your time at SHAC, or like an experience or perspective that you felt that you've gained that you think will be really useful in your future studies?
So I'm interested in going into public health, and the work that we do with SHAC is basically just a smaller, like, scale version of public health. We identify problems in the school and we find solutions for them. And we also have to, like, educate people on health issues, whether it's like through our Instagram or through other projects. And it has really just taught me kind of like how to do those things and really giving me like an insight into what public health is like, while also teaching me things like teamwork and like leadership skills and a lot of different like brainstorming methods and project planning methods, which is going to be really useful in the future.
For me, I think I touched on it a little bit. It's just interacting with different people that I might similarly encounter in my career. I think the path I want to go on is a little bit different from the aim of SHAC. I'd rather I'm looking more towards the physician side rather than the public health. But a lot of those interactions with the different individuals, it helps me to see the side of the medical field that is less like the technical aspects that most people think of.
That's nice. That's awesome. So for some of the stuff you guys do in SHAC, what kind of aspects of student health are you like most advocating for? Like, for example, like mental health or like sexual productive health, or like what kind of are you guys kind of focusing for?
Right. So our main topic is mostly mental health and stress management. And we sort of worked on that this year through a few things. And one of the things I didn't mention was that we worked with the people that create the advisory lessons for our TUTSD district. And we sort of just gave them input on how to improve those advisory lessons in their effectiveness and impact. And another topic is sexual health. We haven't worked on that as much, but we are currently like in talks with a potential collaboration with the student union to sort of revise the school sexual health curriculum to be more inclusive of the LGBTQ plus community. So that's something we want to work on. That's not confirmed yet, but we are definitely looking into that. And we also advocate for physical and nutritional health. However, that's been sort of pushed aside since the pandemic started. That was sort of the aim of our planning with the stand-up group for our Wellness Week, as well as substance abuse prevention and education. So those are our main topics.
That's amazing, you guys. I am so inspired by the work you guys do. So amazing. Alrighty, what do you guys find most fulfilling, or what's like your favorite thing about leading SHAC?
SHAC is like very project focused, so everything is like in the form of a project, and it's always very satisfying. Like when you get to the end of the project and you like see how it all comes out and see how people benefit from it or how it affects people. And it's always just really satisfying to see your hard work in action and like seeing it be successful and do things for other people.
For me, I feel like I'm making a little bit of a difference for student health, and especially after doing some projects, including one called Student Health Advocacy Day. That was when we went to talk to Oregon legislators and senators about our health centers. And so that felt like it was really important to like our student health, and I felt that I was actually making a difference.
Nice. That's awesome. So can you give us like more like can you talk about how to use the school-based health center as a resource? Say if someone's interested in coming in to see like a specialist or I don't really know what else. Or like how would they be able to go about doing that? Like do they offer walk-ins or like appointments?
So right now, because of COVID, the health center isn't taking any walk-ins, but you can call 503-941-3180 to like set up an appointment, and they offer like in-person appointments if you want like a checkup or like other things, or you can do telehealth where you can either do a phone call with one of the providers at the health center or set up like a Zoom call. So they have that option right now. And some of like the services that they offer is like mental health screenings, where they can then refer you to someone who can help you with your mental health. We have vaccinations, which are very important right now, as well as COVID testing. If you need to get a COVID test, they're doing it free of charge. You can also set up dental appointments and like again like checkups on like your regular doctor checkups. You can do STD screenings and like get birth control from there. And like there's other things that you can get. You can call to ask them about it, and it's free of charge and open to all TTSD students. And you don't need insurance. Like if you don't have insurance or like you don't know your insurance information, you can still go and they won't ask you for it and you won't get charged for it.
Wow, that's really incredible. Thank you so much for sharing. That's very important information for all the TTS students to know. So yes, the school-based health center is definitely a resource for you. What do you think is the most relevant health-related issue facing youth right now? I know, Vivian, you mentioned going to the convention and how you thought it was really amazing being part of this kind of bigger conversation of sorts. So I was hoping you can maybe elaborate about that a little bit.
Right. So at that, the School Health Advocacy Day, we were talking a little bit about our health centers and how those help our students. And we were sort of just talking to our state officials about the importance of those. And we were talking about a bill to increase funding for our health centers. And we did touch on mental health a bit and just that it's a good resource for students to get referrals for and to do screenings. And yeah, it's a big issue right now, especially with online school. I'm not sure I have a lot of things to say on that anymore. I feel like we touched on it a lot. Yeah, I think if you're having trouble with mental health right now, it's great to reach out to some of your friends and family and also to the SBHC. And we can connect you to the SBHC if that is necessary.
Okay, so going off, I know we're talking about like online school and COVID and everything. And so I know you touched a little bit upon this maybe earlier, but I was wondering like, how has working with a school-based health center been like different this year in the pandemic versus like in a normal year?
So mostly what we're doing right now is we're just helping them to promote their events and any information they want to put out through our Instagram. We just repost their like flyers and just any information they have on events like time, place. Right. Anything to add, Daniela?
I would say like last year, like Claire, you were a part of Shack last year, and we put up like a lot of posters, and we would get to like talk directly to the nurses and go to the health center and see what it was like, and kind of just then like forward that information. But now it's like very distant, but we still keep a lot of like connections with people there. We send a lot of emails. Too many emails if you ask me, but we send a lot of emails, and we kind of just do the same thing we used to do, but now it's just not in person anymore. And yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but there you have it.
Nice. Okay. I don't know if it's still breaking up, but so can you guys talk about like how to join? Because I think some people, after listening to this, especially me, like I'm getting really interested in what you guys are doing. How could someone join or like sign up?
Well, if you go to Tualatin High School, every week, I believe, they send out a family bulletin through the email, and our meeting link is on there. And again, our Instagram is at tuhs.shack, and our meeting links are also on there. And I believe you can DM us on there if you want to contact us directly. And also there is an option to email our Vice President, Daniela, and our advisor, Grace. So if Daniela wants to put out her information.
My email's kind of long to put out there, but it's like, I'm pretty sure it's on our Instagram, like all of the information's on there. Yeah, like I think we need to update the link on the, so like the family bulletin, because we changed it like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, like if you want to go, like you can just click on the link in the family bulletin or on the school website in the calendar and join our meetings, and like you can just join and be part of the meeting. And if you're interested, you can just keep going, no questions asked. You'll just get added to our email list and get like receive all the updates and just be part of the club. It's just a very involved club. So if you do want to join, you need to know like we do a lot of discussion, and you have to be like pretty involved. It's not a huge time commitment if you're like a member just showing up to meetings, but you have to be willing to participate. So that's just something I want to put out there.
That's
right.
awesome.
And the link is updated on our Instagram. So that is the correct one. If you do click on the old link, though, that is fine. We have been keeping an eye on that old link. So if you do happen to enter that meeting, we are keeping an eye on that. We will let you know.
Sounds good. Well, I was hoping maybe you guys could talk about like maybe upcoming projects. I know it's hard with the pandemic, but if you maybe had, some ideas for next year's cohort, what they would be potentially focusing on.
So our current project, I sort of touched on earlier. We are working with other shacks and YACs in Oregon. YAC is standing for Youth Action Council. That's just the same thing as shack, but a different name within other schools. So we are working to increase accessibility to students through the SBHCs, and each one of our groups are doing a different project. And so our focus at Tualatin is to improve communication of information. And so what that might look like, we are still in the planning process, is we are planning to sort of do some type of, we're going to distribute some type of flyer or items like, I believe, stickers or something else. And that's not decided on yet. But we are also trying to incorporate the communication aspect into that. So we want to focus a lot on translation because not a lot of languages are available for families. As far as I know, there's mostly translations in English and in Spanish, but there are a lot of families out there who don't know about the SBHC due to the lack of information in their language. And so we want to distribute those items with different languages on them.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I think that's been a wrap on this episode of Tualatin Talks with your co-hosts Claire Koo and Aaron Lakeman. It's been a pleasure to have you guys here with us. Thank you so much, Vivian and Daniela, President and Vice President of SHAC. And thank you for sharing your incredible work that you guys have been doing with the Student Health Action Council.
Thank you so much, Claire and Aaron and Julie, for inviting us to the podcast. We have really appreciated it.